Hello everyone, it is me. I am back with another video and today we are taking a look at my sketchbook. This one's a little bit different from my previous sketchbooks. If you've seen my other sketchbook tours, you'd know that I usually like to color the stuff that I put in my sketchbook and do like a mix of finished pieces and sketches and all that stuff, but the paper in this sketchbook was terrible. So I ended up just doing a lot of sketches, a lot of unfinished stuff, some experimental stuff. It may not be the prettiest sketchbook I've ever done, but I'm still proud of it. So let's get into it. So this first page, I just made it as messy as I possibly could to sort of set the tone for the rest of the sketchbook. I started it on the 17th of April and I just used a bunch of green art supplies and I drew Monty looking like a piece of broccoli. And then this spread, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I ended up getting a bunch of those Tombow markers and surprisingly they worked really well on this paper because nothing else worked well on this paper. So over here we have Monty and his papa, Pierre. Monty again, looking like Beetlejuice. And then I had like a calligraphy pen and I decided to draw Pierre with it. And it was fun. I don't know if I liked the drawing itself, but the process was fun. And then this is probably one of my favorite drawings in the entire sketchbook. I don't know why. I just used some fluoro markers, a fluoro orange, fluoro pink, and a fluoro green. And I think he looks really cute. This is my character Rusty. Then I just did like a full body version of him. And then down here, I drew his hands and I really like how these turned out. He's a mechanic, so I wanted to make them look like scrunkly. Then over here we have Rusty again and he's walking his dog Lentil and I love Lentil so much. And then this was just a test print that went wrong and I used it to cover a sketch that I couldn't be bothered finishing. That is a running theme throughout this sketchbook, is me just sticking stuff over things that I can't be bothered with anymore. Then this is a page of Archies in pink pen and for the most part I like how they turned out. There's a couple that I'm like, ew, that looks awful. But the page as a whole looks pretty cool, so I'm happy with it.
Psst, what? Aren't you forgetting something? I don't know, maybe. What is it? Today's video is sponsored.
A huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is Analuisa. Analuisa is a sustainable luxury brand with a focus on eco-friendly jewelry at an affordable price. And with the holiday season swiftly approaching, they're bound to have the perfect gift for you or someone you love. When shopping for jewelry, I tend to lean more towards earrings, so this time round I added the silver mini huggy hoops, Onda mini earrings, Hannah wave earrings, and Noreen earrings to my collection. They each look amazing on their own as statement pieces, or you can add them to your existing jewelry to mix and match and create a new look every single time. I think this time around the Noreen earrings are my favorite. They're just little fish. I love them so much. And the Hannah wave earrings are going to make the perfect gift for my best friend. I've had some of my Ana Luisa jewelry for over a year now, and they all look just as beautiful as the day they first arrived. For comparison, these are the silver huggy hoops that I received last year, and these are the ones that I received today. And honestly, I cannot even tell the difference. I've worn my Ana Luisa jewelry to bed, in the shower, and sometimes for days at a time, and they have always remained comfortable, durable, and tarnish free. And don't panic, if earrings aren't really your thing, they have a huge range of rings, bracelets, and necklaces to suit anyone's style. And I think that my favorite part about Ana Luisa is that they are a certified carbon neutral company. They're committed to maintaining ethical business practices and they use recycled materials wherever possible. They're also completely transparent with their customers. They have so much info about their supply chain, their materials, everything you need to know on their website so that you know there is nothing to hide. This certainly gives me peace of mind knowing just how much thought and care goes into each and every piece without harming the planet in the process. And it's a huge reason why Ana Luisa is my go-to for buying gifts this Christmas. So head on over to the link in my description, shop.analuisa.com/JN-alien-in-a-box and use code alien-in-a-box20 for 20% off your next order. Thanks again to Ana Luisa, and now back to the video. Up here, I was doing a little character design for my Freak Show universe. This is meant to be like the rival Freak Show owner, so he's a bit of a creep. And then this is when I had just finished watching Our Flag Means Death, so like everyone, I was obsessed and I wanted to draw them, and I found out that Steed is really hard to draw, and I don't know why. I feel like Blackbeard was really easy, but Steed, This took me so long. Then up here we have some sketches of baby Bertha and her dad Henry. And then Bertha with some boxing gloves. Then this is the exterior and interior of Powell Automotive, which is Rusty's shop because he and his 2 kids are mechanics. So then we have a sketch of Rusty up here, his son Adair, his daughter Erin, and Emilio, who just drifted in one day and now he's part of the family. I did intend to color these ones in, but I just never got around to it, so now I can't be bothered. And this is when I started to get sick of this paper, so I was sticking things in, and I got my hands on those Crayola Colors of the World markers because I feel like I've never seen them in stores here, so I had to buy them online, and I really love all the different colors you get in them. So I did a little portrait. This is Adair when he was a young lad, and over here I was going to do the same thing as the Archie page and fill it with like Adair at different times in his life, but I honestly hated how all of these drawings were coming out, so I just gave up and I stuck this over the top to fill in space. This is my character Vinny, and he's like a Frankenstein monster type deal, so he lives at the freak show. And then here is where I swatched those Crayolas that I was talking about. Then we have Felix in a dressing gown or a curtain. Scientists cannot tell. And there he is cuddling up with little Shrimp, having a nap. Then over here we have some sketches of Jean, and I sort of did the sketch in a light colored Tombow marker and then just went over it with black. And I really like how that turned out because you can still see the sketch, but then it looks refined because you did the black over the top. I don't know. Then this, I'm pretty sure, is stuck in as well. This is Rusty's little brother JJ back in the 70s. And this is Rusty and his brother Dennis duct taping JJ to the wall. Their mum is definitely not impressed, but at least they're keeping him hydrated. Then we have Archie's mum Claire. She works at like a florist shop / nursery, so she's showing Chester some plants, and he's madly in love with her. He just won't admit it yet. And then here is another sketch of Chester being all blushy. Then we have JJ again, but he's all grown up in this drawing, looking all adorable. And then this is when I became obsessed with tiny houses and I wanted to build one for myself. So I designed the entire layout. One day I might make it a reality, but I'm gonna have to win the lottery first. This, I really love how it turned out. I used a pen called Liquid Chrome, and it's like a paint pen, and it is so freaking shiny. I'm blown away. So I drew like the logo of Felix's freak show. Then we just have some random sketches of Sunny, Shrimp, and Darlene. And over here, I'm pretty sure I was going to color this too, but just never got around to it. Then we have some more house layouts. I like to do house layouts for my characters just so that I can wrap my head around their environment. I think at the time I was planning on doing a comic about Rudy and Dandy, so I was really into like planning for that, and then I started actually making the comic and I got 3 pages in and I was like, I'm done. We're not doing this. So this is Rudy's bedroom at Rudy's mum's house, and then some sketches of Rudy, which I thought were great at the time, but looking back, why are his legs so short compared to the rest of him? I'm kind of afraid. Then here's Rudy in his werewolf form, and Rudy talking to Dandy, who is a vampire. This is one of the few spreads that I actually put effort into. Here's a little comic of Flex and Butch back when Adair was a baby. They're taking care of him. Butch has already had kids of his own at this point, and Flex has never seen a child in his life. So he is like very concerned that the slightest breeze will just break this baby in half, but Butch has to assure him it is fine. He is strong. He can hold his head up on his own now. Then we have a Grumpet eating a crumpet, also known as Monty aggressively devouring a crumpet. I can't really explain what's happening in this drawing. Midnight snacky time. It is Rusty. He is creeping, he is farting, and he's being abducted by aliens? I don't know, but I really like how it turned out. Then I'm pretty sure I was in the process of losing my mind when I drew this, so I don't know what it means, but it's the head of Flex growing out of a pansy flower, and I did it in highlighters, so make of it what you will. And then we have Butch wearing a nice dress that I think I saw on Pinterest, and I was like, yes, that is perfect for him. Then this was during Pride Month, so we have a couple of my LGBT characters, aka all of my characters, but I just picked a few of them for the sake of this, and I colored them all in gouache. I was in the mood to put effort in this time. So we have Elijah and Julie, Flex, Rusty and Butch, Adair and Emilio, and Sammy and Evelyn. And I remember being really bummed because I was really proud of this one because I hardly ever draw ladies, and it instantly got reported on Instagram by some scumbag who doesn't like LGBT representation. Then this was when I got back into a show that I really love that literally no one cares about. It's called Earth 2 and it came out in like the 90s, and it is such a good show. No one knows about it and it got freaking cancelled before they could finish it. So I just have it on DVD and I watch it like every couple of years, and then I get to the end and I'm always devastated because I know that they're never gonna finish it. This is one of the main characters, John Danziger, and he's played by Clancy Brown, who is the same man who voiced Mr. Krabs. So if that doesn't get you watching Earth 2, then I don't know what will. And then this is a sketch of a Terrian, which is one of the aliens from the show. And then this was a weird shot from a dream that I had. It was this really like suspicious truck stop in the middle of nowhere, and they were cooking food which tasted so good. It was like the best food that I've ever eaten in my entire life. And I was so upset because it was in a dream, but then I found out that the food that they were cooking was roadkill. So I didn't know what to make of that, and then I woke up. And then I decided to draw it because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And over here is the guy that was cooking the roadkill. It's Benny's diner, but this was not Benny. It was common knowledge that Benny is dead. Like, Benny might be in that pan, who knows? Then we have Butch being shanked. I wasn't happy with the drawing I did underneath, so I drew a more detailed version of him being stabbed over the top. Then up here we have Rusty and Flex after he's been to the hospital, he's been all patched up and they're just helping him change his bandages. Don't know what kind of mood I was in that day, but it was obviously a little bit unhinged. This is a very fluorescent page. I forgot about this. I think I was pretty desperate to fill in pages at this point. So this is a drawing of my tea station that I just did in like fluorescent marker and black ink, and then I got into my fluorescence again and I drew some skeletons. I really like how these turned out. I think they look so cute. They don't really look like something that I would usually draw, but I love them anyway. Then this, honestly, I love this page. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's glittery. I put glitter glue over the entire thing. It is the Great Hair Tie Transfer of 79. We have Flex with stars for eyes, giving Butch a hair tie. There's a worm coming out of the end of Rusty's microphone. There's beer everywhere, and the whole thing is sponsored by Dick's Inn. I don't even know why I like this so much, but it's one of my favorite drawings in the entire sketchbook. Then we have a drawing of the infamous beer o'clock, which is where Chipper and Butch sit down on like a Saturday afternoon, have some beers together. Butch is struggling quite a bit. He cannot get into his, and Chipper's fine because he got his wife to open his, so he's golden. Then we have Chipper again with his wife May, and they're looking all adorable. This is from the 11th of July. I only wanted to know because I can see some like anatomical errors now, but overall I like the colors, I like the composition, I think it's cute. Then I got some more of those Tombow markers, so I kind of just wanted to use all of them in one drawing. It was definitely fun to draw. Don't know if I love the finished product, but it's cool. These sketches I really like. This is Sunny. He is known as the human matchstick because he has fire powers. So I wanted to draw like a cool thing where it looks like he's glowing from the inside. Then we have a random sketch that I never finished, a tarot card, and I don't know if this is like a separate drawing or part of this drawing. It kind of looks like he's thinking about Felix, which makes sense because he's madly in love with Felix. So there is a reason that I always draw Felix covering his tattoos, and that's because it is a nightmare to draw all of his tattoos. They look great when I put the effort in, but as you can see, I gave up halfway through. I already have a few drawings that I can use as reference that I've done in the past of all of his tattoos, but I did kind of want to do an updated version, and then I just decided, screw it, I'm done. We're not doing that. Then we have Sunny's eyes in calligraphy pen, and Felix getting Sunny into his devil costume for showtime. I think this spread would look really cool if it didn't have the tracing paper in the middle, but I did this drawing in pencil, so I didn't want it to transfer onto here. This is Adair. He is notorious for wiping his greasy hands on his uniform, even though he has a pristinely clean rag in his pocket. Then I just stuck in a print of one of the drawings that I did digitally because I really love this artwork. It's my profile picture on everything now because I just think it's so cute. Then we have a little pen sketch of Adair. This one's my favorite though. I think he turned out really cute. So I wrote, "Oh no, he's hot!" That's Adair back in 1999. And then I did a little sketch of him present day, now that he's got his big beard and he's looking like a teddy bear. Then we have Emilio on a landline phone swinging his little leggies while he talks to his crush. Spoiler alert, it's Adair. I really love the anatomy on this drawing because I'm generally not great at drawing buff anatomy, but I think I did really well on this one. I'm really proud of this. So we have Monty up the top saying awooga, and then I just did a bunch of pen sketches of Archie and Monty together because I feel like I used to draw them all the time, but now I don't draw them so much because I have so many other characters. So it felt nice to just go back and draw the OGs. And then over here, something went very wrong with the marker that I was using, so it looks really crusty, but we have Monty being not a morning person. Then we have some sketches of Harvey from Stardew Valley, and I decided to draw my Stardew Valley farmer. I painstakingly drew this tiny little grid, and then I took a screenshot of my Stardew Valley character, and then I counted precisely how many pixels he's made up of and drew him pixel for pixel. I think it looks really cute. So I decided to do like a little pixel portrait of my farmer, and not a fan. But we love Harvey. I like how all of these turned out. They're really cute. Then I did a sketch of my studio complete with angry Marcel sleeping on the hand chair. There is a lot happening on the next page. You're probably thinking, what is going on? What are all of these doors and things? Well, under each and every door is a little secret. This took me literally hours to put together, and I was filming it for a video, but I just ended up with so much footage that I could not condense it down into something that was watchable, so you can just look at the finished product instead. I always loved interactive books like the Dragonology books and all that sort of stuff, so I wanted to do something like that myself. Then we have some swatches for some markers that I got. Then over here, for some reason, I really like drawing my characters throughout the years. So we have Adair and his friend Jean back in 1988, and Adair is protecting Jean from this ferocious little fluff ball because Jean is absolutely terrified of dogs. Then we have Adair in 2017. He's on his phone texting Jean, and Jean has found a cat, but he is unaware that it's actually a possum. So then we have tall besties pick up their short besties and give them a little squish while they're at it, with Jean picking up his best friend Adair. Then we have a sketch that I never finished of Adair in 1997 pushing Jean in a trolley, and Adair's dad Rusty is saying, absolutely not. Go grab a helmet from the garage first. He's like, if you're going to do something stupid, at least wear a helmet. We have Felix going to the train station. He gets there just in time, and he reaches into his pocket, and he's like, oh, what's this? It's a little note. And the lady next to him sees it over his shoulder and says, that's a sweet little note. Did your son write it? And Felix says, oh no, I don't have a son. It's from my boyfriend. Because Sonny, even though he's a grown adult man, it is like 1903. He grew up poor. He grew up in Germany. So not only did he never learn to write, but English isn't even his first language. So he struggles a little bit, but Bertha, she is teaching him how to read and write. He needs a little help every now and then, but as practice, he likes to write little notes and leave them for his loved ones to find later. Then this was the start of something. This is Ernie. He is part of the freak show. He has a whole backstory where he was messing around inventing some new like photographic technology, and he accidentally turns himself invisible by trapping his image in the photo. He's still trying to figure out how to fix that, so in the the meantime, he joins the freak show. This character started an obsession for me because it is no secret, the Invisible Man has been done before. I thought, hey, I should watch the original 1930s Invisible Man movie. Make sure I'm not like full on just copying the idea and I'm putting my own spin on it. And it is my favorite movie of all time right now. Like, it is so good. You can watch it for free on Internet Archive and I would highly recommend it. The freaking visual effects are amazing. Like, when you consider that they didn't have green screen, they didn't have computers, they were just working with layers of film and they still managed to make this man look invisible and make it convincing. It absolutely blew me away and it got me obsessed with just watching old horror movies from the 30s. Even though I don't draw this character very often, it started something. So here we have my character Molly making some cookies for everyone at the freak show, and Ernie, he is a very nice person, but every now and then he's a little bit mischievous, as you would be when you're invisible, so he's trying to take one without anyone noticing, and little does he know he has had flour on his face this entire time, so Molly knows that he's there. She's like, just take one, it's fine. You don't have to sneak around. I really like how this drawing turned out. This is another one in Tombow markers, and this is Vinny. He is my Frankenstein's monster character, another member of the freak show. I love him very much, and this is his creator. Her name is Mary. I know it's a little bit on the nose, but I wanted to like give a nod to the writer of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. So she takes on the role of mad scientist, inventor. And this was the day that Flex turned feral. Here he is climbing up the walls with a leaf taped to his privates. Butch is just unfazed. He sees this sort of thing every single day, so he just gets the spray bottle out. He's like, I'm not dealing with this right now. And then we have Rusty and Flex has taken Rusty's sensor bar. Rusty is not happy. He wants it back. I really like how I drew their feet. They are the literal definition of grippers. And then in contrast, we have this very serene drawing of baby Felix having a bath. Bertha is washing his hair and there's all these ducks walking past, and it's very beautiful and very different from what's happening next to it. Then these were all done with those alcohol markers that I was swatching earlier. We have my character Felix getting his makeup done for the show. An eye with a star in it, I don't know why. Then down here we have Friedrich March, who played Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in the 1931 version, which I freaking loved. It scared the crap out of me and I don't even know why. And then here's just a bunch of colorful scribbles. I don't know what the vibe was that day. Then I'm pretty sure this day I was having a freaking mental breakdown, so this happened, but I really like how this turned out. I think it looks really cool. Doesn't look at all like something that I would draw, but I like it nonetheless. Then there's just a couple of sketches of Archie to fill out the page. You can probably tell I was not feeling this page. I glued down some colored paper to try and spice it up a little bit with plans to draw on it, and it just never happened. So over here we have some sketches of Chipper, done in Tombow markers. Then we have a pen sketch of Julie holding a dodgeball. Then down here we have Elijah sacrificing themselves for Julie, who's about to get pummeled with dodgeballs. That is true love, my friends. I really like how this one turned out. This is my character Daryl, and he is a ghost that haunts the local pub. Another sketch of Daryl, and then this is Rick. He is the owner of Dick's Inn, which is the pub, and he is brushing Daryl's hair. Then we have Monty's dad, Pierre. He's wrapped up in his blanket with some crinkle chips. I think there's steam coming off his head for some reason. And then down here, his bags are packed and he's ready for bed. It's just really fun to draw him looking tired, and I have no idea why. Then we have a very faint sketch of Butch and his daughter May, and then a more finished sketch of Butch back when he was young, before his beard grew down to his ankles. This is another one of, I think it was meant to be Pierre, but it looks more like Monty. I guess they're related, so they kind of look the same, but definitely a weird one, that one. Then under here, I thought I'd experiment with some oil pastels, and I quickly learnt that I still do not like oil pastels. Then over here, I just wanted to fill in some space, so I printed off some digital art and glued it in. This is when Rick pulled out the vacuum, and I think Daryl has had 1 or 2 traumatic experiences being sucked up in the vacuum. vacuum, so he's floating on the ceiling. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Then down here, I colored this one with gouache, and I really love how like smooth the colors turned out. I think they look really cute. This is Adair playing his guitar, and Emilio's just sitting there like being annoying, plinking the strings. And then we have a page of Rudy, and at this point in the sketchbook, it's very obvious that I just wanted to get it over and done with. We're about halfway through, and I was so done with this paper that I was hardly filling in pages at all. Like, there is nothing under this sticky note. I just wanted to fill that space. But I do really like how these two drawings turned out. This is Rudy in his human form, and then we have Rudy in his werewolf form. And I wanted to draw this so that I could draw his teeth, because I feel like I needed to practice that. So we have a little bit of practice over here, and then the finished product over here. And then we have a page of Dandy. I really love this one. I just imagine him having this huge Victorian style bed with like tons of pillows, massive blankets, and he's just this tiny little pointy guy in the middle of it all. Here he is drinking some blood. I really like this hand too, and him drinking blood again, getting it all over himself, and Werewolf Rudy is in the corner like, huh? This is a sketch that I really want to turn into something finished one day. It's literally just Emilio looking into Adair's saxophone going, I don't see any toots in here. And Adair's like, no toots! I don't know what it means, I just like it. And this is Adair turning into a beanie baby because he has little ears on his beanie. And then I thought, why not just draw him as a literal beanie baby? And I think this is the cutest thing I've ever drawn in my life. Then we have Archie looking in the rear view mirror. He's missing an eye, so I usually either draw him with no prosthetic eye or an 8-ball eye, but if you've seen the movie The Last Action Hero, the main villain has prosthetic eyes, and one of his is a smiley face. So I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to draw Archie with a smiley face eye. Some random sketch of Archie and Ping having a break. They're probably at the gym, so they're having some snacks, they're having some water. Then over here, Emilio is a very hairy young man, but he prefers to be clean shaven all over. So we have the dolphin, the cactus, and the Sasquatch illustrating the 3 forms that you will find him in. Then this is like a barbarian alternate universe for my characters. So we have Barbarian Archie and Barbarian Julie, and this is their little like house built into the side of a cave. And then over here is a sketch of them fishing. I did want to color it, but I kinda hated the way it was positioned on the page, so I never got around to it. But it's a cute concept. I might revisit it one day. Then we have a little comic called Big Lemon, and it's Julie struggling to open this gigantic can of lemonade. So they ask Archie to open it for them, and I just love how huge it looks in Julie's hands and how tiny it looks in Archie's hands. Then we have some pink pen sketches of Archie. He's working at the florist shop. He's looking all adorable. He's over here with his pet cat named Scooch, having a great time. And this is probably the blandest page in the entire sketchbook. Once again, I did intend to color this, but I just could not be bothered in the end. This is the Milkman and Postman alternate universe, which I have not revisited in literally years. It's sort of like a 50s AU where Archie is the postman, Monty is the milkman, and they are madly in love with each other. And then this was like some random tissue paper that I had that's like glittery, so I thought it was cute, and I didn't have anywhere else that I wanted to stick it in, so I just put it there. Then this is a sketch of Emilio. He has been stood up for a date and he is not happy. It's not Adair. This is before Adair. And then this is what I did immediately after seeing Moon Age Daydream in the cinema. That movie like rewired my brain. I don't know what happened, but it was amazing and I would highly recommend it because it is like this audiovisual experience. It is unlike anything I've ever seen before, and I freaking loved it. And then this is just like the bleed through from the other page. I thought it looked kind of cool, so I kept it there. We have a little pencil sketch of David Bowie. And then I found a bunch of screenshots online from the movie because the colors in that movie are freaking amazing. So I went into Procreate and I just sort of like picked my favorites from each image and then printed them out into these little swatches. And I freaking love them. Like, this fully captures the vibe of how vibrant that movie was. It was amazing. Then this is May and Chipper's son Benson. This is him when he's little and his little stuffed carrot toy thing. And then this is May, Benson, and Chipper's house. I actually like cut all this out and stuck it down individually, only to find out my glue does not hold. So it looks cool, but every time I touch it, more peels off. So I don't know how long it's gonna last. And then this is a sketch that I left unfinished purely because I love the way Flex's face turned out so much that I didn't want to risk ruining it. It's probably kind of hard to see what's going on because it is a very scribbly sketch, but Rusty is wearing one of those like baby carriers and he has a dare in it, and he's also holding a lead which is attached to Flex. It's one of those like child backpack leads because Flex cannot be trusted. And Flex is sniffing Butcher's butt, and Butcher's daughter is very afraid, so she's climbed up on top of Butcher's shoulders. Very chaotic, a lot going on. And then this is Birdie, and he is wearing these pants that I saw someone wearing at the shopping center, and I loved them so much that I was like, I have to draw these immediately or I will forget that they exist. I was too shy to ask them where they got their pants from, and I should have because I want them. Then we have Birdie asleep, Birdie in his mime getup, a little sketch of his boyfriend Lillian, Birdie making a cake or something, and then a very unfinished sketch of them kissing. This page, I love this spread so much. It is just a whole spread of Adair being adorable. We've got him having a nap, hugging his boyfriend, kissing a cat, dressed as a bear, eating a biscuit, taking a leak, cutting his own hair, hugging a bear. This sounds like a children's book. So yeah, there's a lot going on this page and I absolutely love it. I think it's adorable. The bears are definitely my favorite. Then we have my Dungeons and Dragons character Matic. I won't go into huge detail about him in this video, but I did make a tour of my Dungeons and Dragons journal where I talk all about him, and there's a whole bunch of other art and backstory and all that. So if you're interested in finding out more about him, I will put that in the eye. I haven't played in a little while, but I did discover that I really like drawing orcs, so that's fun. Then this is when I decided to bring back Archie's drag persona because we haven't seen her for a really long time, and I love drawing her. Her name is Strawberry Shortcake. She is gorgeous. This is her without her costume on. And Monty is in love. Monty was already in love, but now he's even more in love. And since I was drawing Archie's drag persona, I thought it was only fitting to draw Monty's drag persona, Madame Bizou. She doesn't get out quite as often, but when she does, you know all about it. She's the life of the party. And I just stuck that over the top of a drawing that I didn't really like. This is Adair's sister Erin. I was going to draw her at the computer, but I was using water-based markers and I didn't have the colors that I wanted, so I just stuck Madame Bizou over the top. Then up here we have the Powell Automotive crew. Because they're like a family business, I feel like they'd have like a photo of them all on their website and they'd update it each year. So like this is the 2016 one. I don't know why I picked 2016 of all years, but there it is. It's Beetle! My friend, my best friend, was very kind and they gave me their copy of Breath of the Wild because they don't really play it anymore, and I've been putting it off for literally years because the price has not changed. It has been like $75 since it came out and I've just been waiting for it to go on sale and it never does, and I'm a cheapskate and I'm not very good at games in general, so I was scared that I'd buy it and I'd be terrible at it. It is my favorite freaking game of all time. Stardew Valley and Breath of the Wild tied for first. I love them both so much. I think I have like 100 hours on Breath of the Wild now, and it's surprisingly the only Zelda game that I feel like I'm actually good at because all of the others I really struggle with and I need like walkthroughs to get me through them, but I've been having a really good time with Breath of the Wild. I've beaten all 4 divine beasts and now I just have to work up the courage to go and fight Ganon. I'm currently putting it off in favor of exploring Hyrule, but when I get bored of that, I will go and face Ganon. I'm just scared. So here is Beetle. Beetle has always been my favorite character ever since I met him in Phantom Hourglass, and now in Breath of the Wild, even if I don't want to buy anything, every time I see him, I just run over to him and I say hi. And then down here we have a pencil sketch of Beetle and Link sharing mushroom and meat skewers because they're kind of my go-to. I'm not very creative when it comes to cooking in Legend of Zelda, so I just make mushroom and meat skewers all the time. Then this is one of my newest characters. His name is Rani. He is part of the Freak Show and he has telekinesis, so he can move things with his mind. And I love him so much. The entire point of me making this is because I got a book. It's called Patterns of India, and I spent hours looking through this book. Like, it shows you all of the architecture, the colors, the patterns, the clothing. Like, it is gorgeous, and I wanted an excuse to like research and draw Indian architecture, so I went down a rabbit hole, and then I created Rani so that I could have an excuse to just draw the clothes and the architecture and the patterns whenever I want, which I know I didn't have to create a character for that, but for me, if I can create a character out of something that I really want to draw, then it just makes it even more fun. So I really love Rani. I think this is my favorite drawing of him. This was the first one I did and this was the last one I did, so I think that looks most like how I want him to look. Then down here I had a bunch of washi tapes with some cool patterns on them, so I decided to just make his outfit out of washi tape. I thought this would be a 5-minute job and it ended up taking me like 3 hours. It was ridiculous, but I love the way it looks in the end. I think it's really cute. Then up here, because he's part of the Freak Show, he needs his own caravan, and this is it from the inside, and this is what it looks like on the outside. This was done on like tracing paper, so it's probably really hard to see, but I put a lot of effort into it. I should definitely redraw this on proper paper though, because I really want to color it. I think that would be really fun. Then here, I was still very much in my Breath of the Wild phase, so we have some pen sketches of Lady Urbosa, some Koroks, Link in his Gerudo outfit. I'm pretty sure that the Gerudo Desert is my favorite place to go in Breath of the Wild, so Link always ends up wearing the Gerudo outfit when I'm around. And then we have the Great Fairy Terror. Then we have a pen sketch of Ping drinking a cup of tea. We have the fuzzy one, Adair, in his little bear costume again. I freaking love this bear costume so much. I want to draw him in it 24/7. And then we have Adair at the barbecue and Emilio checking in on him, giving him a little bit of a squeeze. This is probably the most barren page out of all of them. This is actually the last page that I filled in. I sort of started going out of order by the end of it, and you could tell that I was beyond done with this sketchbook by this point. I got some new pencils, so I drew my chickens snuggling up next to each other. And then this is a sketch of me in my pajamas, chasing a fox, chasing my chicken, because this is based off real events. I looked out my window a couple weeks ago at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and not only had one of my chickens escaped the enclosure, but she was getting chased down by a fox. So I sprinted out there in my pajamas and I chased that fox for like 2 or 3 neighbors' backyards, and by some miracle the fox dropped the chicken and the chicken was fine. So happy ending. Could have been worse. I don't know what I intended to do if the fox didn't drop the chicken, but I was on a mission and that is my exercise done for the year. Then over here we have a very pink sketch of Ripple's Florist, which is the florist shop / nursery that Archie's auntie owns. It's very pink, very cute. I love it very much. Then here, I don't know that I'm 100% happy with how my coloring turned out on this one, but I do like the concept. We have a bunch of drawings of Kip. He loves wearing bright colors, cardigans, that sort of thing, and he's also a librarian, so he kind of dresses like a kindergarten teacher. He's very cute. I love him very much, and this is Kip and Flex if they swapped outfits, because clothing wise Flex is the polar opposite of Kip, and I think it would be fun if they swapped styles for a day. Then we have some pen sketches of Kip and Flex again. He's drinking uppy juice apparently, which is just a juice box that makes him float, and Flex has a beer. Then down here, I'm not sure if librarians have like lanyards with work IDs, but I figured that Kip could have one because I really wanted to do like a cute pattern with a little flower on the bottom. I don't know, I think it looks really cute and I think it suits his vibe. Then we have Kip and Flex having a little bit of a smooch. Kip has the banana back going on. And then down here, I was rewatching old episodes of BuzzFeed Unsolved and I watched the Mothman episode and it inspired me to draw Amelia in a Mothman costume. Then we have Kip doing a little nose crinkle when he smiles. And then up here we have Flex's house before Kip moved in. It is very mismatched. It is very messy. And then Kip moves in and brings a little more personality to the place. They definitely kept a bunch of pieces and like jazzed them up a little bit, so it's a combination of both their styles and I think it turned out really cute. Then over here I intended to turn this sketch into a digital piece. I'm still working on it, but I'm not really happy with how it's turning out, so I don't know if it will ever see the light of day, but it's just Kip and Flex in the dairy aisle looking at some cheese stringers, because if I weren't lactose intolerant I'd be living off cheese stringers. Then this page is an absolute mess. At this point I was probably only halfway through the sketchbook, so I turned to the back to do some thumbnails and they look like scribbles, so not much to say about them. I don't even know if I can identify what's happening in them anymore. And then down here we have Flerl strikes again. Flerl is Flex and Feral mixed together to make one word, so here he is trying to bite Rusty's head off while he sleeps. Then these were the first drawings that I ever did of Matic and he definitely looks a lot cheerier now. Back then he was a very grumpy boy, but as he's developed he's more of a himbo now. And here was his character sheet when I first made him. A lot has changed on this now, so I don't really refer back to it anymore. And here is when we officially reach like the back of the sketchbook. This is where I was taking notes on all of the old horror movies that I wanted to watch. I stuck in the box of some dairy-free yogurt. And then from here to the end of the sketchbook is all like OC questions. So on my Instagram story, I'll put up one of those question boxes and ask people to ask questions directed at certain characters, and I just draw them answering them. So they don't make a lot of sense out of context, but I do save all of these to my story highlights on my Instagram. So if you want to see them, you still can. So on this day, people were asking questions to Sammy and Evelyn. And then this is from the 9th of May, so people were asking questions towards Daryl. And I really like doing this sort of thing. If I'm really itching to practice a certain character, but I can't think of like what to draw them doing or like a pose or anything, then I can just put up a question box and people get to ask questions, they get to learn more about the character, and people come up with some really creative questions that I never would have thought of, so it gets me thinking how certain characters would react, which is really good for character development, so I would highly recommend it. These were more Ask the OCs with Dandy and Rudy. These are honestly probably my favorite drawings from the Ask the OCs recently. We have Monty and Pierre, and we have activities they did together when Monty was a kid, and Monty is about to freaking obliterate Pierre with that elbow, that pointy little elbow. Then over here we have Pierre sitting on a plastic lawn chair and Monty tries to snap the leg off it, but Pierre doesn't fall. So the boy is in big trouble now. It was not meant to end like this, but I don't know what he expected. And then these are just more Ask the OCs with Monty and Pierre. We've got him snuggled up on the couch. And we've got Pierre threatening to tell Monty's mum about the tattoo that's on Monty's butt that she does not know about. And Monty is begging him not to tell her because he knows that she will probably kill him if she finds out. And Pierre just looks so sly. Pierre knows the power that he holds. And then this was my swatch page at the back where I tested everything out, and I think it looks really cool. I always like doing swatch pages at the back. They always start off really neat, and then as the sketchbook progresses, they get scribblier and scribblier. And then in the back, I just have a list of all my characters, and as you can see, there's quite a few of them now, so it's a lot. I have to do this in the back of every sketchbook to make sure that I don't forget anyone at this point. And that is it. I am so glad to be done with this because like I said earlier, I absolutely hated the paper, but I'm also kind of gonna miss it because my current sketchbook has absolutely amazing watercolor paper in it and it is beautiful to work on, but I feel very precious about it because it was kind of expensive and I don't want to make a mess of it. So with that said, thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out my description for all the info you need to get 20% off your next order. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!